Today, members of the Joint Legislative Auditing Executive Committee approved special reviews for the governor's podium purchases and more. Now it heads before the full committee for a vote.
My reasoning for this is right or wrong, that this issue with the lectern, podium, whatever anybody wants to call it, it's been convoluted that it goes along with what happened in the special session with FOIA.
Today, Republican Senator Jimmy Hickey formally requested a special audit over the purchase of this podium by the governor's office. According to online state records, the total cost owed to out-of-state vendor Beckett LLC was $19,029.25. The cost of the podium has since been reimbursed by the Republican Party of Arkansas.
If the Republican Party had actually made this purchase themselves, then no, sir, we would not be here. It's just that a state credit card was used.
The all-Republican members of the Joint Audit Executive Committee approved the expedited audit request, and on this issue, the Democrat House Minority Leader agrees with them.
These things shouldn't be partisan. I think the public, and I think most of us in the legislature, want there to be a full investigation and everything to be out in the open.
If the full committee gives approval, the Arkansas Legislative Audit Team will look at all records concerning the podium purchase, as well as allegations that some records may have been changed.
They work for the legislature, but they are nonpartisan, independent, and they audit everything from state agencies, the executive branch of government.
Representative Jimmy Gazaway is the executive committee co-chair. Today's recommendations also include auditing expenditures that were made private due to changes to Arkansas Freedom of Information laws, keeping security details private for elected leaders. The committee is also recommending creating procedures for releasing what auditors find out.
The finding would be can be anything from whether or not they violated a policy or a procedure or whether a law was violated.
That on that podium purchase, whether it was a coincidence or whether it was not, that I know that the Senate, that we adjourned on 10:02 on the 14th of September. We had a bill signing that was somewhere probably close to noon. And then I found out, even this week that reimbursement was actually done the same day that we left out of here.
When we asked Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders about the podium purchase last week, she said it was an accounting error. And when asked if people should be concerned.
No, this was paid for by private funds. People want to manufacture a controversy where there isn't one. I think the process just wasn't as clean as it should have been. Again, it's been reimbursed by private funds. Nothing was paid for by taxpayers.
The full Joint Auditing Committee meets first thing Friday morning, and if approved, the state auditor says those special reviews will start on the same day, but he says that it could take until the end of the year until everything is finished. Governor Sanders says she welcomes the audits and encourages them to be completed without delay. In Little Rock, Brett Rains, 4029 News.
Today, U.S. Senator from Arkansas John Boozman spoke at the Fort Smith Regional Chamber of Commerce. 4029's Katani Gooch spoke to him about military conflicts overseas as well as the Fort Smith economy.
As the keynote speaker, Senator Boozman took this opportunity to shed a light on the devastation in Israel. He also talked about the growing economy in Fort Smith.
We're so saddened by the attacks on Israel. I'm pleased that President Biden has stepped up and basically said that we will do anything that we can to support the nation of Israel.
Senator Boozman spoke to those gathered at the event about the horrors overseas in an effort to keep Americans aware of the devastation. He told me while the destruction is far from the United States, Americans can still show support.
This is the beacon of democracy in the Middle East and one of our greatest allies. So for all kinds of reasons, it's really important that we give them the aid that they need so that they can defend and protect themselves.
While there, the senator also spoke on updates for Fort Smith's new pilot training program.
We're in the process of really two things happening in Fort Smith. One is bringing in the Singapore unit that is stationed now in Arizona. They will be moving their planes, 12 planes here, and this will become their new home, their new headquarters. Along with that, a separate mission of bringing in the training program for the countries that buy F-35s.
Senator Boozman told me this is a great opportunity for the people of Fort Smith.
It's important to the community, it's important to the region, most importantly, it's the best place in America for this to happen because we have a tremendous workforce. The Air National Guard here, nobody does a better job, so it's a lot of opportunities for lots of people.
According to Senator Boozman, this program is estimated to bring in $500 million to $1 billion to the region. In Fort Smith, Katani Gooch, 40/29 News.